Hello, and a very warm welcome back to Elderflowerings. This is your space for embracing the journey of aging with grace, wisdom, and an ever-present spark of vitality. Are you finding yourself moving a little slower than you used to? Perhaps getting out of that comfortable armchair feels like more of a project than a simple movement. Maybe a walk around the block, once a pleasant routine, now leaves you feeling more tired than it should. If any of this resonates with you, whether you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, please know you are far from alone. Aging naturally brings changes to our bodies, but here's a truth I want to share with you today, a truth filled with hope and empowerment. You do not have to passively accept these limitations as your unchangeable reality. Think about someone like Barbara. At 72, she began to notice those subtle but persistent shifts. Her legs didn't quite move as quickly or as surely as before. She, who had always prided herself on her independence, found herself hesitating before tackling a flight of stairs, or instinctively reaching out to steady herself on furniture. It was a quiet fear that began to creep in, the fear of losing her freedom, her ability to navigate her world on her own terms. Like many, Barbara initially thought, well, this is just part of getting older, isn't it? Something I have to accept. But was that truly the only path available to her? Was it the only path available to you? I firmly believe, and have seen countless times, that it's never too late to regain a significant measure of your strength, your energy, and your confidence in movement. You don't have to resign yourself to a life of ever-increasing limitations simply because the years are passing. Today, I'm going to share 5 simple yet profoundly powerful practices, 5 things inspired by journeys like Barbara's that can help you move better, feel undeniably better, and continue to enjoy your life with more vigor and confidence. These aren't complicated, radical changes. In fact, they are surprisingly easy to begin, perhaps even today. And I truly believe that by the end of our time together, you'll feel a renewed sense of inspiration and a clear path to take action. Please stay with me, because the last 2 things I'll share are what many, including Barbara, have found to be absolute game changers for their mobility and overall well-being. Our goal here isn't just about adding years to your life, but more crucially, adding vibrant life to your years. You deserve to wake up each day feeling strong, capable, and ready to engage with the world. So, let's dive into the very first step toward reclaiming your energy and your joyful mobility. Thing number 1. Reframe your mindset and truly understand your body's needs. The journey to improved mobility and energy begins not just in the body, but deeply within the mind. Many people, when they start to feel stiff, weak, or slow, automatically attribute it solely to the natural course of aging. I'm just getting older, they'll sigh. But the empowering truth, one that modern understanding of gerontology consistently affirms, is that a very significant portion of this perceived decline often stems more from prolonged inactivity or inappropriate activity rather than from age itself. Let's revisit Barbara. The more she avoided certain movements because they felt a little challenging, the weaker her supporting muscles actually became. The weaker those muscles got, the more genuinely difficult and precarious movement became. It was a subtle downward cycle, one that inadvertently made her feel even older and more limited than her years warranted. But when she finally made the conscious decision to understand this cycle and actively do something about it, things began to shift in a remarkable way. Your body, at any age, is built for movement. It thrives on it. The moment you significantly reduce your regular, varied movement, a cascade of changes begins. Muscles, if not consistently challenged, will naturally weaken and lose mass, a process known as sarcopenia, which can be slowed and even partially reversed. Joints, if not moved through their range of motion, can stiffen. Your energy levels, paradoxically, often drop with inactivity because your body isn't being cued to produce the energy needed for an active life. Think of it like a well-loved car that sits unused in the garage for months. When you finally try to start it, the engine might struggle, the tires may have lost air, the battery could be weak. Your body operates on a similar principle. The less you use it in diverse ways, the harder it becomes to get it moving smoothly and efficiently again. But the glorious flip side is also true. The more you mindfully and appropriately move, the more your body responds with increased strength, flexibility, and renewed energy. It's a wonderfully adaptable system. The solution starts small, with understanding. Acknowledge change. Don't surrender to decline. Yes, your body at 70 or 80 is different from when it was 30. Recovery might take a little longer. Certain high-impact activities may no longer be wise. But this doesn't mean a sentence to stillness. It means you need to adapt how you care for it, how you move it. Challenge limiting beliefs. Barbara had spent years internalizing the belief that she was too old to exercise effectively or make significant changes. When she started questioning these deeply ingrained thoughts, she opened the door to new possibilities. If you tell yourself, "I can't," you likely won't. But if you gently tell yourself, "I can try," or "I can do a little more today than yesterday," you begin to unlock your potential. Start where you are with what you have. If walking long distances currently feels overwhelming, begin with a short, deliberate walk around your home, or even just down the hallway and back several times a day. If you feel particularly stiff in the mornings, do some gentle stretches and range of motion exercises before even getting out of bed. If stairs seem like Mount Everest, practice stepping up and down on a single stable step, holding on to a railing for support. These micro movements might not seem like much individually, but they accumulate, sending consistent signals to your body that it is still needed, still capable. Barbara began her turnaround by simply committing to walking for just 5 minutes a day inside her home. Within a few weeks, she was surprised to notice her legs feeling a little stronger, her balance subtly improving, and a flicker of her old confidence returning. You are truly never too old to rebuild strength and enhance your mobility. Your body is remarkably resilient, and it will respond positively to what you consistently do every single day. Remember, movement isn't just an optional activity. It is a fundamental necessity if you wish to maintain your independence and your zest for life. This understanding, this shift in mindset, is the crucial first thing. This idea of challenging our own limiting beliefs about aging is so powerful. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, "I'm too old for that," and then perhaps surprised yourself? I'd love for you to share any such experiences in the comments if you feel comfortable. Thing number 2, conquer fatigue with essential daily habits, focusing on hydration and sleep. Another common companion that often sneaks up on us with age is a persistent, sometimes debilitating sense of fatigue. You might wake up in the morning already feeling less than refreshed. By afternoon, the desire to simply sit down and rest can become overwhelming. And by evening, even if you haven't engaged in particularly strenuous activities, your body can feel utterly exhausted. Barbara certainly struggled with this. She'd often tell me, "I just don't have the energy I used to. It must be my age." But here's what she, and many others, often don't initially realize. Persistent fatigue is frequently a symptom of easily correctable lifestyle habits, rather than an inevitable consequence of the passing years. Things like inconsistent or poor quality sleep, chronic underhydration, and even a lack of the right kind of movement can all contribute significantly to feeling perpetually sluggish and drained. If you're constantly battling tiredness, it's time to take a closer, more compassionate look at what might truly be causing it. Revitalizing your energy. Key habits. Prioritize hydration. Are you drinking enough water throughout the day? This seems so basic, yet it's astounding how many older adults are chronically mildly dehydrated without even realizing it. Dehydration directly impacts energy levels, cognitive function, and even joint lubrication, making you feel exhausted and achy. Barbara made a conscious effort to sip water consistently all day long, not waiting until she felt thirsty. She kept a water bottle nearby as a visual reminder and noticed a significant difference in her alertness within a week. Aim for plain water primarily and be mindful that caffeinated beverages can be dehydrating. Optimize your sleep habits, the foundation of energy. As we explored in a previous Elderflowerings discussion, our sleep patterns change significantly after 70. Your body naturally wants to shift to an earlier bedtime, often between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., to align with changes in melatonin production. Fighting this golden hour can lead to fragmented, unrefreshing sleep. Optimize your sleep habits, the foundation of energy. As we explored in a previous Elderflowerings discussion, our sleep patterns change significantly after 70. Your body naturally wants to shift to an earlier bedtime, often between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., to align with changes in melatonin production. Fighting this golden hour can lead to fragmented, unrefreshing sleep. Consistent sleep schedule. Barbara learned to honor this. She established a regular bedtime around 9:30 p.m. and a consistent wake-up time, even on weekends. This helps regulate the body's internal clock. Wind-down ritual. She created a calming pre-sleep routine, turning off electronics an hour before bed, dimming the lights, perhaps taking a warm bath or reading a physical book. This signals to her body that it's time to prepare for rest. Sleep sanctuary. Her bedroom became a dedicated space for sleep, cool, dark, quiet, and comfortable. No screens allowed. Move to energize. It sounds counterintuitive when you're feeling tired, but gentle, regular movement actually boosts your energy levels rather than depleting them. The less you move, the more sluggish you often feel. Even short bursts of activity improve circulation, oxygenate your cells, and release endorphins. When Barbara diligently implemented these changes, focusing on hydration, aligning her sleep with her body's new rhythm, and incorporating small, consistent movements, she was genuinely shocked at how much better she felt. Instead of dragging herself through her days, she found herself waking with more spontaneous energy and sustained motivation. She realized with great relief that aging wasn't what was primarily slowing her down. It was the accumulation of habits that were no longer serving her well-being. Fatigue doesn't have to be your constant companion. By making these small, vital adjustments, you can begin to notice a tangible difference in your energy levels, often within just a few days or weeks. Thing 3. Embrace movement snacks and nature's free medicine, combating sedentarism and harnessing sunlight. Barbara had made up her mind. She wasn't going to let age dictate her energy levels. She was walking a little more, drinking more water, and paying closer attention to her sleep. And to her genuine surprise, she was feeling better. Yet something was still subtly holding her back. She'd still find herself waking up a bit groggy some mornings. Some days, her legs still felt unusually heavy, almost reluctant to move. And in the afternoons, that familiar wave of deep exhaustion would sometimes still creep in, making her feel frustrated despite her efforts. She was doing so many things right, so why wasn't she feeling as consistently energized as she expected? That's when she, and subsequently I in my work with many clients, began to focus on two often overlooked yet incredibly powerful factors in aging well: the pervasive impact of prolonged sitting and the profound benefits of something absolutely free, sunlight. Most people, when asked, drastically underestimate how much time they actually spend sitting each day. Whether it's during meals, watching television, reading, scrolling on a phone or tablet, or simply relaxing, Sitting has become the default position for so much of our modern lives. Barbara was no exception. She thought she was staying active enough with her short walks. But when she consciously started tracking how much she actually sat throughout an average day, the total often exceeded 8, sometimes even 10 hours. She thought she was staying active enough with her short walks. But when she consciously started tracking how much she actually sat throughout an average day, the total often exceeded 8, sometimes even 10 hours. The hidden danger of sitting and the power of movement snacks. Understand the impact. Here's a crucial piece of recent understanding. Prolonged sitting, even if you do a dedicated exercise session each day, has independent negative health consequences. When you sit for long periods, your blood circulation slows, your large leg muscles, crucial for mobility and metabolism, become inactive. Your flexibility decreases, and your body's ability to regulate blood sugar can be impaired. Over time, these effects accumulate, making simple movements like getting up from a chair or climbing stairs feel significantly harder. Break up sitting time, the movement snack concept. Barbara learned that the key was not just less sitting, but interrupted sitting. She started incorporating movement snacks throughout her day. Stand up every hour. She'd set a simple timer or use the cues of a TV commercial break to stand up, stretch, and walk around the room for just a minute or two. Active everyday tasks. She began marching in place while brushing her teeth, pacing gently while on the phone, doing calf raises while waiting for the kettle to boil, and even incorporating gentle stretches while watching her favorite television programs. Make movement a habit, not a chore. She looked for small, enjoyable ways to move more. Parking a little farther from the store entrance, always taking the stairs if it was just one flight and she felt up to it, or even putting on her favorite music and dancing for a few minutes in her kitchen. Within weeks, her body felt noticeably lighter, her legs moved more easily, and best of all, she didn't feel as trapped by stiffness anymore. Nature's free medicine, the vital role of sunlight. Then her doctor asked her a simple question that unlocked another piece of the puzzle. Barbara, how often do you actually go outside and get some sunlight? She realized that most of her days, despite her efforts to move more inside, were spent indoors. What she learned next was a revelation: the vitamin D connection. Most people are aware that sunlight helps the body produce vitamin D, but many don't realize just how absolutely essential vitamin D is, especially as we age. It plays a massive role in keeping bones strong, crucial for preventing osteoporosis and fractures, muscles flexible, and joints less painful. Without enough of it, bones can weaken, the risk of falls increases, and movement can feel stiff and difficult. Aging and vitamin D production. Critically, as we get older, our skin's ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight naturally decreases. This means that even with some sun exposure, we might not be producing as much as we did in our younger years, making intentional, safe sun exposure even more important. Beyond vitamin D, sunlight does more than just boost vitamin D. Exposure to natural light, especially morning light, helps regulate our circadian rhythms, improving sleep, boosts mood by increasing serotonin levels, and can even support immune function. Barbara decided to put this to the test. Every morning, she made it a point to step outside onto her small porch or into her garden for just 10 to 15 minutes. No complicated routine, no extra effort, just sitting or strolling gently, letting the sunlight touch her skin, safely of course, avoiding peak burn times. Within weeks, she felt the difference. Her mood was consistently brighter, her joints felt looser, and she even found herself sleeping more soundly. Science absolutely backs this up. Harnessing these free health boosters. Aim for daily sunlight, safely. Just 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight on your arms and face without sunscreen for this short period, unless advised otherwise by your doctor for specific skin conditions, can make a difference. Morning sun is often considered best. Make it a pleasant ritual. Drink your morning coffee or tea outside, take a short walk after lunch, or simply sit by a sunny window if getting outdoors is challenging. Combine with movement snacks. Use your outdoor time for a gentle stroll or some simple standing stretches. Barbara couldn't believe how much of a difference these two seemingly simple adjustments, interrupting sitting and embracing a little daily sunlight, made. She was finally starting to feel consistently like herself again, stronger, happier, and more energetic. Thing 4. Build your foundation. Targeted strength for true independence. Legs and core, a game changer. Barbara was making incredible progress. She was sleeping well, moving more throughout her day, consciously breaking up periods of sitting, and soaking up her daily dose of sunlight. Her energy was returning, her body felt stronger, and for the first time in a long time, she felt genuinely in control of her own aging process. But then, one morning, as she bent down to tie her shoelace, she felt that familiar, unwelcome ache in her knees. It was subtle, but it was a clear reminder. While her overall activity had increased, she hadn't been doing anything specific to truly strengthen the foundational muscles that support her mobility and independence, primarily her legs and core. She knew with a chilling certainty what could come next if she ignored this. Difficulty standing up from a chair without pushing with her arms, a less steady balance leading to a fear of walking on uneven ground, and increased risk of a fall, that dreaded event that she had seen diminish the independence of so many of her friends. A simple fall, a fractured hip, and suddenly their whole world had shrunk, their freedom curtailed. That, Barbara determined, was not going to be her story. So she made a new commitment, a commitment to her legs and her core. The truth is, your leg muscles, your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calves are quite literally the foundation of your mobility. They are what keep you independent, allowing you to stand, walk, climb stairs, get in and out of cars, and perform countless other daily activities. Your core muscles, abdominals, back, and hips provide stability and balance. The moment these crucial muscle groups begin to significantly weaken, which they will if not actively maintained, everyday activities start to feel harder. Your balance can become compromised, and your risk of falls skyrockets. But here's the wonderfully empowering news, and this is truly one of those game-changing insights. It doesn't take hours in a gym or complex, strenuous exercise routines to build and maintain significant strength in these areas, even well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Barbara didn't suddenly sign up for an intimidating gym membership. She simply started incorporating a few minutes of targeted leg and core strengthening exercises into her daily routine, right in the comfort of her own living room. And within a few weeks, the difference was palpable. Getting out of her favorite armchair became noticeably easier. Walking longer distances felt less tiring. Climbing the stairs to her bedroom, she did it with newfound confidence, without that slight hesitation she'd started to develop. And if she could do it, you absolutely can too. 3 simple, powerful exercises to start today. Always listen to your body and consult your doctor if you have pre-existing conditions. 1. Chair squats, the sit to stand. This is one of the most functional exercises you can do. Sit towards the edge of a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Without using your hands to push off, if possible, or using them lightly for balance if needed initially, stand up fully. Then, slowly and with control, lower yourself back down to sit. Start with 5 to 10 repetitions, focusing on good form. This powerfully strengthens your thighs, glutes, and improves your ability to get up from any seated position. 2. Leg lifts, seated or standing. Seated. While sitting tall in a chair, extend one leg straight out in front of you, hold for a few seconds, then slowly lower it. Repeat on the other side. This targets your quadriceps, front of thigh. Standing with support. Holding on to a sturdy chair or countertop for balance, slowly lift one leg straight out to the side, abduction. Hold briefly and lower. Then lift it straight back, extension. Hold and lower. Repeat on the other side. This works hip and glute muscles crucial for stability. 3. Heel raises and toe raises for calves and shins balance. Holding on to a sturdy surface, rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as you comfortably can. Hold for a moment, then slowly lower. This strengthens your calves. Then rock back slightly to lift your toes off the floor, feeling it in your shins. This combination improves circulation, strengthens lower leg muscles, and is excellent for balance. The key is consistency. Barbara started with just a few minutes of these exercises each day. She didn't push herself to exhaustion. She focused on good form and listened to her body. Now, she moves with a confidence that comes from knowing her legs are strong and capable of carrying her wherever she wants to go. And that, my friends, is what I deeply want for you. Because losing mobility isn't just about not being able to walk as far, it's about gradually losing your freedom, your world shrinking. But you have the power to prevent that, or at least significantly slow it down. Barbara's journey powerfully illustrates that it's not about big, drastic changes, but about small, consistent, targeted actions that yield huge impacts over time. Thing 5. Cultivate mindful movement for lifelong balance, peace, and the final piece of the puzzle, the second game changer. Barbara had come so incredibly far. She was moving more consistently throughout her day, consciously breaking her sitting time, enjoying her daily dose of sunlight, getting the best sleep she'd had in years, and diligently performing her leg strengthening exercises. She felt undeniably better, stronger, and more energetic than she had in a very long time. Her body was responding beautifully. Yet, she confessed, there was still a subtle something missing, a final piece she hadn't quite grasped. Even though her body was objectively getting stronger, she sometimes still felt a deep, lingering tension in her muscles, a certain stiffness in her joints that she couldn't quite shake with her current routine. Some days, she'd wake up feeling like her joints just didn't want to move freely, despite her warm-up stretches. And then were the mental challenges, the undercurrent of worry that can often accompany aging, even when things are going well. What if she did have a bad fall despite her new strength? What if, for some unforeseen reason, she began to lose her precious independence again? What if all the wonderful progress she had made started to somehow slip away? That quiet fear of the unknown, that subtle anxiety still sat in the back of her mind. No matter how much better she felt physically, she knew she needed something more, something that would help her feel more profoundly in control, not just of her body, but of her thoughts, her anxieties, her inner peace. That's when, on the gentle recommendation of a friend, she decided to explore the practices of yoga and Tai Chi adapted specifically for seniors. At first, she was, by her own admission, quite skeptical. "Oh, that's not for me," she initially thought. "That's for people who are already young and flexible, not for someone in their 70s with creaky knees." But her friend persisted gently, and Barbara, emboldened by her recent successes in making positive changes, decided to attend an introductory class at her local community center, one specifically designed for older adults. After just 1 week of practicing these slow, mindful movements, she realized something truly incredible. This was the missing piece. This was the second game changer. Her body, after just a few sessions, began to feel noticeably looser, more balanced, more gracefully flexible than it had in years. Her mind, during and after the practice, felt calmer, clearer, more focused, and surprisingly peaceful. And the best part? She discovered she could easily practice many of the simple movements and breathing techniques right in the comfort and privacy of her own living room. The secret to staying mobile and serene for life. If you've ever felt stiff, tense, unsteady on your feet, or simply overwhelmed by worry, please listen closely because this could be for you too. Balance and fall prevention, a scientific boon. One of the greatest anxieties for seniors is the fear of falling, and for good reason, as falls can have devastating consequences. Both yoga and Tai Chi are scientifically proven through numerous robust studies to significantly improve balance, coordination, and proprioception, your body's sense of where it is in space. They do this by strengthening core muscles, improving ankle stability, and training the body to make quick, subtle adjustments to maintain equilibrium. Barbara, who had always felt a little less steady on uneven ground, noticed within weeks of starting Tai Chi that her fear of falling had dramatically lessened. She no longer hesitated before stepping off a curb or walking across her lawn. She felt stronger on her feet, more grounded, and most importantly, she began to trust her body again. Flexibility, joint health, and pain reduction. The gentle, flowing movements of Tai Chi and the sustained, supported stretches in senior adapted yoga work wonders for increasing flexibility, lubricating joints, and reducing stiffness and pain, often associated with conditions like arthritis. These practices encourage movement through a full, safe range of motion, helping to alleviate the creakiness many feel. Barbara found that the persistent ache in her knees and hips began to noticeably subside. More than just exercise, finding inner peace and mental clarity. Perhaps one of the most surprising and cherished benefits of these mindful movement practices isn't just physical, it's profoundly mental and emotional. For Barbara, stress and worry had always been unwelcome companions. But something magical happened when she started to consistently practice the slow, deliberate movements and focused breathing inherent in yoga and Tai Chi. She began to feel lighter, not just in her body, but in her mind and spirit. Yoga taught her how to breathe deeply, how to consciously relax her muscles, and how to gently let go of the tension she had been unknowingly holding on to for years. Tai Chi, often described as meditation in motion, helped her move with grace, control, and a deep sense of inner calm and focus that began to carry over into her everyday life. For the first time in many, many years, she felt truly present in her own life. She wasn't stuck ruminating on the past, nor was she anxiously anticipating the future. She was just here, in the quiet strength of the present moment, feeling good. And you can feel that way too. How to start today, gently and joyfully. You don't need a fancy studio, expensive mats, or special clothing. You don't need to be flexible or athletic. You just need a willingness to begin. Try just 5 minutes. Stand up, take a few deep, conscious breaths. Gently stretch your arms overhead, feeling your spine lengthen. Let your body wake up to the sensation of movement. Focus on slow, controlled, mindful movements. Try very simple Tai Chi-inspired movements like parting the wild horse's mane. Many wonderful beginner videos are available online specifically for seniors. Or gentle seated yoga stretches. The goal is not to achieve difficult poses, but to move with awareness, to breathe deeply, and to feel good in your body. Don't worry about perfection. The true essence of these practices is not about mastering complex forms, but about the journey of moving, breathing, and cultivating a sense of inner balance and peace. Barbara didn't start out knowing how to do everything perfectly. She just started with curiosity and a gentle commitment, and that, she found, made all the difference. The choice is yours. Embrace your vitality. Barbara's journey from feeling her independence slip away to reclaiming her strength, energy, and peace of mind wasn't about discovering some unobtainable secret or undergoing a dramatic, life-altering overhaul. It was about the profound, cumulative power of small, consistent, conscious actions. It was about choosing to listen to her body, to challenge limiting beliefs, and to actively participate in her own well-being. She didn't set impossible goals. She didn't try to change everything overnight. She simply decided one day at a time, one small step at a time, that she wanted to feel good again, to live her later years with vitality and joy. And she did. She sleeps better now than she has in decades. She moves with a confidence that belies her age. She feels in control of her body, her health, and her future. And now, truly, it is your turn. Aging isn't about passively losing your strength or your zest for life. It is about actively choosing how you want to live each precious day. So, what will you choose? Will you take that first gentle step today toward feeling stronger, steadier, and more energized? Will you begin to make those small, consistent changes that will add not just years to your life, but abundant, joyful life to your years? Your remarkable body, your resilient spirit is waiting for you to say yes. So go ahead, take that first step today. And if you're ready, if Barbara's story has sparked a little inspiration in you, I would be so honored if you would let me know in the comments below. What's the one thing from our discussion today that you feel most inspired to try first? Or perhaps a small action you're already taking that makes a big difference in your life. I genuinely can't wait to hear your story and cheer you on. Thank you for joining me today at Elderflowerings. If this conversation has brought you value or a little bit of hope, please do like this video, subscribe for more empowering content, and share it with anyone you feel might benefit. Your support helps us reach and uplift so many more. Remember, every day is a new opportunity. Until next time, take wonderful care and keep blooming.